guys, so today I am going to show you my books that are currently on my shelf that I either have read recently or are about to read. I want to catch up on my reading before I go back to school, but I generally don't have a lot of time to read during school because you have homework and activities and I'm an RA at school, so you just don't have time. But over the summer, I have a lot more time, so I have a stack of books here that I want to show you guys what books I'm interested in, I guess. I will show you the cover and like what book it is, and then if it has like one of those little pieces in it that describes what the book is about, then I'll read that. But yeah, so let's get into it. Alright, so the first book that I have is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. S-A-R-A, and then Gruen is G-R-U-E-N, and it's a #1 New York Times bestseller, and it's actually a movie, which I have seen the movie before, but it was a long time ago, so I'm going to read the book. I always like to read the book first, but this was the one time that I broke the rule, so I definitely want to read this, and luckily I don't really remember the movie much, so I can read it without it being totally ruined. But here is the description. Though he may not speak of them, the memories still dwell inside Jacob Jankowski's 90-something-year-old mind. Memories of himself as a young man, tossed by fate onto a rickety train that was home to the Benzini brothers' most spectacular show on earth. Memories of a world filled with freaks and clowns, with wonder and pain and anger and passion. A world with its own narrow, irrational rules, its own way of life, and its own way of death. The world of the circus. To Jacob, it was both salvation and a living hell. Jacob was there because his luck had run out. Orphaned and penniless, he had no direction until he landed on his locomotive, Ship of Fools. It was the early part of the Great Depression, and everyone in this third-rate circus was lucky to have any job at all. Marlena, the star of the equestrian act, was there because she fell in love with the wrong man, a handsome circus boss with a wide, mean streak. And Rosie the elephant was there because she was the Great Gray Hope. The new act that was going to be the salvation of the circus. The only problem was, Rosie didn't have an act. In fact, she couldn't even follow instructions. The bond that grew among this unlikely trio was one of love and trust, and ultimately it was their only hope for survival. I remember the movie, and I absolutely love the movie, but I don't actually remember what happened, so I'm very excited to read this. And then the next book I have is The Best of Me. It's by Nicholas Sparks. I am a huge fan. I own almost all of his books, but I haven't read all of them, but the minute I see one on the shelf, I'm like, I have to buy it. So I have a lot of them. I've read a lot of them, and I have a lot that I haven't read yet. But this is, I believe, a movie now, but yes, so I will read the back to you guys. In the spring of 1984, high school students Amanda Collier and Dawson Cole fell deeply in love. Though they were from opposite sides of the tracks, their love for each other seemed to defy the realities of life in the small town of Oriental, North Carolina. But as the summer of their senior year came to a close, unforeseen events would tear the young couple apart, setting them on radically divergent paths. Now, 25 years later, Amanda and Dawson are summoned back to Oriental for a funeral. Neither has lived the life they imagined, and neither can forget the passionate first love that forever changed their lives. Forced to confront painful memories, the two former lovers soon realize that they have everything they thought they knew. About themselves, and the dreams they held dear was not as it seemed. And in the course of a single, searing weekend, they will ask of the living and the dead, can love truly rewrite the past? So I'm excited to read this, but it was only $10 at Walmart, so I like to buy a lot of my books at Walmart because they're generally just a lot cheaper there, and they always have Nicholas Sparks books in stock. So there is The Best of Me. And the next one is an older book. I've owned it for a long time, but I haven't quite read it yet. But it is The Secret Life of Bees by Sue Monk Kidd. She also wrote The Mermaid Chair, which I haven't read either. But it's a New York Times bestseller as well, and I'll read you guys the back. Set in North Carolina in 1964, The Secret Life of Bees tells the story of Lily Owens, whose life has been shaped around the blurred memory of the afternoon her mother was killed. When Lily's fierce heart hearted black stand-in mother, Rosaline, insults 3 of the deepest racists in town, Lily decides to spring them both free. They escape to Tiburon, South Carolina, a town that holds the secret to her mother's past, taken in by an eccentric trio of black beekeeping sisters. Lily is introduced to their mesmerizing world of bees and honey in The Black Madonna. This is a remarkable novel about divine female power and the story that women will share and pass on to their daughters for years to come. Now that I read the back, I may have read this, but it was a long time ago, so I am definitely going to read it again, but it sounds really good. My mom read it and she really liked it, and I know that this is also a movie, so I am excited to watch that as well. I always love to watch or read the books and then watch movies, because then you can see the differences, and I know a lot of people hate when the movie is different than the book, but you have to appreciate the book for what it was, and you have to appreciate the movie for what it is. It's not going to be the same. It is so hard to put words into a video, and so you just kind of have to accept that, but there's The Secret Life of Bees. And we have another Nicholas Sparks book, The Longest Ride. I have also seen this movie, guilty, but I had never seen a Nicholas Sparks movie in theaters, so I was like, and I didn't have time to read the book before I could watch it, so I did. I watched it. But it was so good, and I'm so excited to read the book. And this is also #1 New York Times bestseller, so there's that. And then I will read you the back. Ira Levinson is in trouble. 91 years old and stranded and injured after a car crash. He struggles to retain consciousness until a blurry image materializes beside him, his beloved wife, Ruth, who passed away 9 years ago. Urging him to hang on, she forces him to remain alert by reminiscing about their lifetime together. Ira knows that Ruth can't possibly be in the car with him, but he clings to her words and his memories. A few miles away at a local bull riding event, University senior Sophia Danko meets a young cowboy named Luke. Through Luke, Sophia is introduced to a world in which the stakes are high, reward and ruin, and even life and death loom large in everyday life. And she and Luke fall in love. Sophia finds herself imagining a future far removed from her plans, if the secret Luke's keeping doesn't destroy it first. Ira and Ruth, Sophia and Luke, 2 couples who have little in common and who are separated by years and experience, yet their lives will converge with unexpected poignancy, reminding us all that even the most difficult decisions can yield extraordinary journeys. I'm so excited to read this. This was such a good movie. There is this, The Longest Ride. And then now I have See Me by Nicholas Sparks. This is also a #1 New York Times bestseller. Alright, and so here is the inside. See me just as I see you. Colin Hancock is giving a second chance his best shot. With a history of violence and bad decisions behind him and the threat of prison dogging his every step, he's determined to walk a straight line. To Colin, that means applying himself single-mindedly toward his teaching degree and avoiding everything that proved destructive in his earlier life. Reminding himself daily of his hard-earned lessons, the last thing he is looking for is a serious relationship. Maria Sanchez, the hardworking daughter of Mexican immigrants, is the picture of conventional success. With a degree from Duke Law School and a job at a prestigious firm in Wilmington, she's a dark-haired beauty with a seemingly flawless professional track record. And yet Maria has a traumatic history of her own, one that compelled her to return to her hometown and left her questioning so much that she once believed. A chance encounter on a rain-swept road will alter the course of both Colin and Maria's lives, changing deeply held assumptions about each other and ultimately themselves. As love unexpectedly takes hold between them, they dare to envision what a future together could possibly look like, until menacing reminders of events in Maria's past begin to surface. So that is See Me, and I am a little bit into the book. I'm on page 23, which is not far enough to tell you much of anything, but I'm sure that it will be good. The beginning of this book is a little bit different than most of them, like most of his other books, so I am interested to see how that goes, but I'm sure that it will be an excellent book. I don't doubt it, so that is See Me. We'll set that there. And then I have 3 more. The next one is The Lucky One by Nicholas Sparks. and this is also a #1 New York Times bestseller. And I wanted to show you this one because I have read it. I've read the entire thing, and I've watched the movie. But I wanted to show it to you guys because it is my absolute favorite book. It is my absolute favorite, and then it is definitely a bonus that Zac Efron is in the movie. But yeah, so it is a very good book. I absolutely love it. My favorite types of books are the ones that are like so like this is a regular size book, I guess you would say, and then this is like the other size, and I love it when books are like this short size. I don't know what it is about it, just like the way that you can hold it in your hands or something, and that may be weird, but you know, I like it. So I will read this to you. After U.S. Marine Logan Tibble finds a photograph of a smiling young woman buried in the dirt during his tour of duty in Iraq, he experiences a sudden streak of luck, winning poker games and even surviving deadly combat. Only his best friend Victor seems to have an explanation for his good fortune: the photograph, his lucky charm. Back in Colorado, Tybalt can't seem to get the woman in the photograph out of his mind, and he sets out on a journey across the country to find her. But Tybalt is caught off guard by the strong attraction he feels when his search leads him to Elizabeth, a divorced mother in North Carolina with a young son. And he keeps the story of the photo and his luck and a secret. As he and Elizabeth embark on a passionate love affair, Tybalt's secret will soon threaten to tear them apart, destroying not only their love, but also their lives. So there is that one. I don't really want to say too much because I hate spoilers, and I would never do that to you. So I'll read it. Just read it. And then the next book is The Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. There's this one. I read to page 63. I do read multiple books at one time. Sometimes, not always. But I did start this one. I haven't read it in a while though. I was not totally sold on it. However, I think I'm going to keep reading it because you can't judge a book by the first even 150 pages. You just have to keep plugging. So I'm going to read it and see if it changes. It's just, I think it may be more of a younger read for me. But other than that, it's pretty good. I like it. There is a great fantasy plot and a well-developed separate world, which is a big role in fantasy books. So I think it did well in that sense, but I will read you the back. Tally is about to turn 16 and she can't wait. In just a few weeks, she'll have the operation that will turn her from a repellent ugly into a stunningly attractive pretty. And as a pretty, she'll be capulated into high-tech paradise where her only job is to have fun. But Tally's new friend Shay isn't sure she wants to become pretty. When Shay runs away, Tally learns about a whole new side of the pretty world, and it isn't very pretty. The authorities offer Tally a choice: find her friend and turn her in, or never turn pretty at all. Tally's choice will change her world forever. So there is that. This was a very, very popular book a few years ago. Oh, and this is also a New York Times bestselling series. But very popular. 5 years ago maybe? 5? And everybody loved it. I never read it at that time. However, I did start reading it now, but now it may be too much of a younger read for me. But I'm still going to read it because it doesn't define the book in any way. But I will continue to read that. But that is The Uglies by Scott Westerfeld. And then I have 99 Days. This is by Katie Katungo. There's that. I'll read you the inside. This one is the one I'm currently avidly reading. I'm not really far, but it is a good book.